Anna had never believed in love at first sight. She was 32, divorced, and too practical for fairy tales. Her life was a careful routine. Work as a nurse at St. Mary's Hospital, evenings with her cat Miso, weekends spent walking the river trail or reorganizing her bookshelves. She told herself she didn't need more. Then Lukas walked into her life. He was a paramedic, 10 years her senior, with 2 failed marriages and a quiet sadness he carried like an old coat. Their first meeting was unremarkable. A rainy October night, Lukas drenched from hauling a car crash victim into the ER, Anna adjusting the man's IV. She noticed his hands first, scarred, steady, competent. Then his eyes blue and weary, like he'd seen too much but refused to look away. They didn't speak that night. A week later, she found him in the cafeteria, slumped over a coffee that smelled like burnt tires. He nodded at the empty chair across from him. "Mind if I sit?" Anna hesitated. She'd heard the rumors. Lukas drinks too much. Lukas's second wife left him after 6 months. Lukas's brother died young, but his voice was calm, his posture unthreatening. "Go ahead," she said. He didn't talk much at first. They sat in silence, Anna flipping through a medical journal, Lukas staring at the wall. When he finally spoke, it was about the coffee. "Tastes like motor oil." Anna smirked. "Then why drink it?" "Habit," he shrugged. "You ever notice how hospitals run on bad coffee and guilt?" She laughed. It surprised her. Slowly, they became acquaintances, then friends. Lukas shared snippets of his life, his daughter Sophia, who lived 2 hours away with her mother, his love of jazz records, the year he'd quit his job to backpack through Europe, only to return after 2 months because he missed his dog. Anna learned to read his moods, the way he'd go quiet after a traumatic call, the shadow that crossed his face when Sophia's name came up. One night after a child's asthma attack left them both raw, Lukas walked her to her car. The parking lot was empty, the air sharp with frost. "Want to get a drink?" he asked. Anna knew the risks. Dating a coworker was messy. Dating someone with his history was riskier. But his voice was tentative, almost shy, and she heard herself say, "One drink?" The bar was dim, filled with the hum of old rock songs and the clink of glasses. Lukas ordered whiskey. Anna chose wine. They talked about everything but work. She admitted she'd always wanted to learn piano. He confessed he'd written songs in his 20s but burned the notebooks after his brother's funeral. "Why?" Anna asked. Lukas traced the rim of his glass. They felt like lies after he died. Anna's chest tightened. She reached for his hand, then stopped herself. They began meeting regularly. Coffee breaks, walks by the river, late-night texts, swapping bad jokes. Lukas never pushed. When Anna mentioned her ex-husband's infidelity, he listened without judgment. When she cried after losing a patient, he handed her a tissue and sat with her in silence. One evening on the bridge overlooking the river, Lukas turned to her. "I'd like to kiss you, if that's okay." Anna's pulse raced. "What if it's not?" "Then I'll wait." She kissed him instead. It was clumsy. Their noses bumped, his stubble scratched her chin, but his hands cradled her face like she was something precious. And for the first time in years, Anna felt seen. They took it slow, painfully slow. Anna's trust had been shattered by her ex's lies. Lukas's heart bore the cracks of abandonment. They stumbled often. When Lukas forgot her birthday, Anna hid her hurt behind a shrug. "It's fine." "It's not." Lukas's jaw clenched. I'll fix it. He showed up at her apartment that night with groceries, cooked her garlic shrimp pasta, and washed the dishes while she sat on the counter. I'm scared too, he said, scrubbing a pan, but I want to try. If you do. Anna hugged him from behind, her cheek pressed to his back. Okay. Months passed. They navigated misunderstandings and Lucas's occasional withdrawals. Anna met Sophia, a quiet girl with her father's eyes, and felt a pang she couldn't name. Lucas helped her buy a second-hand piano, grinning as she butchered Furelise. Then on a icy March night, Lucas's ambulance was hit by a drunk driver. Anna got the call at 3 a.m., her hands shaking so violently she dropped her phone. At the hospital, Lucas was unconscious, his legs shattered, ribs fractured. Anna refused to leave his side. When he woke, his first words were, "The others." "Safe," Anna said. "You're the idiot who took the hit." His smile was weak. Recovery was brutal. Lucas hated needing help. He snapped when Anna adjusted his crutches, cursed when she reminded him to take his painkillers. One night, after he shoved away her hand, he muttered, "You should leave. I'm no good like this." Anna cupped his face. "Try harder to push me away." When he could walk again, Lucas rented a cabin in the mountains. They spent 3 days hiking trails, cooking over a fire, and talking about things they'd buried. Anna's fear of being alone, Lucas's guilt over his brother. On their last night, he said, "I love you," his voice rough, like the words hurt. Anna froze. "You don't have to say it back," he said quickly, but she did. She realized it then, watching the firelight flicker in his eyes. "I love you too." It wasn't a fairy tale. Love didn't erase Lucas's nightmares or Anna's anxiety. Some days they felt like strangers. When Sophia struggled in school, Lucas shut down, retreating into silence. When Anna's ex reappeared, asking for closure, she panicked, lying to Lucas about the texts. Their biggest fight came on a sweltering July day. Anna found a whiskey bottle in Lucas's trash, half empty, hidden under coffee grounds. She confronted him, voice shaking. "You promised you'd stop." Lucas's face darkened. "I didn't drink it. Sophia's mother called. She's moving to Chicago, taking Sophia." Anna faltered. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because you'd want to talk about it." He spat the word like it disgusted him. They didn't speak for 3 days. Anna threw herself into work. Lucas slept on the couch. On the 4th night, he knocked on her bedroom door. "I'm sorry, I bought this." He held out a parenting book. "I don't know how to fight for her." Anna let him in. They attended family court together, Anna squeezing Lucas's hand as he argued for shared custody. When the judge ruled in his favor, Lucas cried, ugly, gasping sobs that scared Sophia until Anna pulled the girl into a hug. "He's just happy," she whispered. The years that followed were messy, beautiful, and ordinary. Anna learned piano, her clumsy melodies blending with Lucas's guitar. Sophia grew into a sharp-eyed teenager who borrowed Anna's novels and rolled her eyes at Lucas's jokes. They weathered job losses, a cancer scare, and Miso's death, which left Anna weeping in the shower while Lucas dug a grave under the lilac tree. On Anna's 40th birthday, Lucas took her back to the mountain cabin. They sat on the porch, watching the sunset paint the sky gold. "Marry me," he said, pressing a simple ring into her palm. "Or don't, but I want to grow old with you." Anna slid the ring onto her finger. Yes, but no fancy wedding. They married at the courthouse, Sophia giggling in a sunflower yellow dress. Anna wore her mother's necklace. Lukas wore his dog's old collar around his wrist. That night, they danced in their kitchen to a scratchy jazz record. Sophia snapping photos and Miso's successor, a stray tabby named Noodle, weaving between their feet. At 50, Anna found gray in her hair and a tremor in her hands. Lukas's leg ached in the cold, and his songs grew softer, sadder. But when Sophia brought home her first serious boyfriend, a shy med student who adored her, Anna squeezed Lukas's hand under the table and whispered, "We did okay." Lukas kissed her temple. "Better than okay,"